Hello again. I'm Odd Job Fix, specializing in the repair of antiques, collectibles, and furniture through the contemporary period. I'm here with shop and tool tips for you. This job requires installing new slats on these refinished iron bases. You can see that I've made a row of spacers here in order to facilitate the right gap in each one. There were several steps that were needed to get to this point, and I'm going to backtrack and get those filmed. But for right now, I'm going to pick up where I locate the screws on each of the slats. I've already got the front and the top located and squared to the frame, level to the floor. I had no idea that the dynamics of something like this could be as difficult. Getting this thing essentially it became a trapezoid in order to try to do both at the same time. So a lot of compromise was needed in order to get to this point. So anyway, now that we've got the top and the front here, we're gonna get these all lined up like that, and I'm gonna hold them in place with this old purse filled full of lead shot and keep them from moving around a little bit. You take this bit here, go up into each of the holes. Don't need much. Now these slats have to be sanded and finished, so the purpose of pre-assembling this was to check out how the alignment was along here. And there are one or two pieces that are a little proud. I think the screws are going to allow a little bit of adjustment when we go to do the final assembly. But and I would like to get that one moved over just a little bit. So this side's pretty good, and I don't know if that's going to show up on the camera, but this side here is a little ragged. So what I'm going to do is first run a belt sander over this, which was a fairly coarse, I think 80 to grit paper. It looks like we kissed all the surfaces there. So to make sure that this is flat, we'll take it over here to this belt sander. I think we got it pretty good. excellent on this side. A little bit more to do here, just a little bit. All right, I'm going to take my long bit here and I'm going to magnetize it so I can handle the screws easily while using one hand to secure the slat and the other hand to run the drill. Like that. By the way, have you ever sharpened a Phillips bit? I did. I put it up against the grinding wheel and just barely kissed these faces, kind of squaring them off, and then I blended the point a little bit. Man, this thing is 100%, and it was plenty used. Now that I've got the sides nice and square, I'm going to make a faint pencil line. Then the only reason I'm doing this is because I need to label. There's 5 different chairs here, and believe me, they're all different. So I'll be removing all of the slats and marking them top, left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 9 on each of these. And I'll mark right behind this metal brace here, and then designate the 1 through 5 on the bases. So that's going to take a little while, so I'll go off camera while I do that, and I'm going to then arrange them, and we're going to go back through the steps that I needed to take in order to get all of these 5 different chairs laid out to where they look good. So we'll see you in a little bit here. I just wanted to go through some of the dynamics here that I went through lining these slats up, making them look good. A good presentation when you look onto the thing from a distance, any angle, level to the floor, square to the base. So I started by placing the first board thusly. And then I checked with the 2-inch side of the square and verified that, and this table's pretty flat, I verified that that looks good. There is a reference here that's visual. I can line this up with the line on the table here. I've determined that this board is flat using the sight sticks. It looks pretty good. So we can put this up here. And measure from the line. 2 1/4, 2 1/4, and there's a nice gap along there for that reference. So given that that is probably as good as it's going to be, checking off the floor, 27 7/8, 27 7/8. So what we would do now is stack the boards, the slats, tight, no spacing, just to see where it's going to end up here. Okay. Get this thing more on camera here. We're looking at 32. Well, it's actually 13/16, but who's counting? And this is 33. So we got 3/16 of a difference there. And let's look at it again from this dynamic. And this says that the right-hand corner to me should go up which is consistent with that measurement. So let's take it up about 3/16 and see where we stand. Okay, I've got 33. So as you can see, there's a little bit of daylight there. And believe me, that does make a difference when you're looking at the thing. What this means to the boards coming out of the box is while we assume that this would be square, in order to achieve what we're looking for on the chair frame, and I exaggerate here, is kind of fanning these out. And where that became obvious, I actually tapered the board to an imperceivable amount, but you add up a fraction along the boards and you can easily do that. And these margins, these gaps will remain the same. And the other thing is that, you know, if one's a dime and another's a penny, it's pretty hard to the human eye to really see that. I think they'd need the dime or the penny to determine that it wasn't quite lined up. So not too difficult of a job to do that in order to, when these are on the chair, in order for this line and this line to appear to be square with the floor. So that's a couple of the problems I ran into to make sure that these things look good from every angle. And in a couple of instances, I found that the iron was actually not consistent, and so on this one here in particular off camera, I bent this down, this one here down, and rolled it just a little bit, probably an 1/8. So I started off with this corner an 1/8 high, and of course that would have not given a good line of sight from this edge to this edge, which was indicated by our flat board here, which now isn't good. What happened there? So what do you do? This could be a little low. Better. And for the last measurement to see if there's any consistency or inconsistency, we'll go along with this seamstress tape measure here. Thread this down here first. right out here. Okay, we're looking at 17 1/8. We've got 16 7/8. Which, if we raise that up, would just make that worse. So, averaging everything together, I think that's going to be about as good as this one's going to be. If any adjustment were absolutely necessary, I would favor bringing one side of this out versus the other. And if I knock this back just a hair, not bad, which actually helps close up that gap. So several different ways to achieve alignment on these, but I think that's going to work. All right, it's time to take all these apart again to their individual stacks, sand them and finish them. They're going to get a conversion varnish or furniture lacquer. I haven't decided which one. I have a couple of spares, so I'm sure I'll shoot one of each.